Hey guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. We're gonna have a little bit of fun here. So gentlemen, what we have here is a 2x6 that I just built for my buddy Paul. Now, Paul is an overkill guy. He likes all the custom stuff. So what we did is we took a 2x8 cabinet and we're going to utilize that bigger heatsink, and we built a little tiny city in here. So it's two 2879s driving 6 Toshiba 2879s. These are all matched, same lot, 1K Toshibas. Okay. And we did our standard 2x8 construction with the BBI transformers and internal capacitor bank, and we put the oversized relay in it that is soldered in there, by the way. 3 power wires for the positive, 3 for the ground. This has got 38 inches of wire. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you an output test with this. And we're going to do it with 2 different radios, and we're going to do it at multiple different voltages. The gentleman that is getting this amp has got some voltage issues in his truck that he's dealing with right now. And I want to show him what it runs like at 13 volts, 13.8, 14, 15, and so on. So you can see the output performance increase across the whole gambit. And we're going to do it also with the D-Rail radio. So first we're going to use my very weak Anemic 2950, and then we're going to hook up the D-Rail radio, which is going to make it do a whole bunch of bird. Okay? Now the reason we're doing that is because we have to replicate what he has going on in his system. So now what I've got this hooked up to is a variable voltage supply, and right now we've got it all the way down at the bottom, which is 12.94. I can't go any lower than that. We got a 1000 watt slug in 2X. Alright, so let me slow down and explain that to everybody. I have to do a little bit of math in our head. So full deflection over here is 2000 watts. Right there is going to be 1000 watts on that hash mark right there. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 2 grand. Okay? 1000 watt slug in average, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get to see about 600 plus out of this. A 5 watt slug in reverse back from the Bird 10,000 watt dummy load. We're going to use a 5 watt slug between the 2950 and the amplifier to represent input tune to the amp. Okay? So first things first, we're going to fire down, we're going to talk through the amplifier into the dummy load. Otherwise perfectly flat standing wave going through the box. Now remember, we're in 2X position, so that's our standard 20 watts worth of drive. We're going to turn the amp on, and at 13 volts, this is what we're going to get out of it for results. 1350 PEP, and about 400 bird. Remember, that's on the 2950. Now the output of the radios isn't going to change because the voltage that is feeding the radio is stable. So now that we've done our first test, let's hang this mic up. Let's go over here and we'll hook up the D-Rail radio. Okay. Let's grab the microphone for the D-Rail radio. Oh, all right. Let's go ahead and shut the radio or the amplifier off. Same 20 watts. About 10 watts worth of bird. So we're still all the way down on 12.94 volts. Hello. Hello. So the peak is exactly the same, but look at our average numbers. Hello. That's 200 more bird just by changing radios. So now, let me crawl down here and put my hands on a variable knob. That's close enough. Whew. Okay. So now we're at 13.73. Grab the mic for the derail radio again. 610. And let's look at our peak output numbers. Now we're at a full, what? 1400 watts. The drive has stayed the same, but we picked up 200 watts of output power by going up a full volt. Okay? So let's disconnect the derail radio. That's the blower inside the derail radio, cooling that thing that you guys hearing and running in the background. So now we'll hook up the 2950 again. Same peak numbers. And about 20 more bird. Okay? Let's continue on up in this process. Jeez, touchy. Come on. Okay, that's close enough. That's right down the middle. Now we're up to 14 volts, 14.3. Okay. Use the 2950, same amount of drive. So now we're up to 1600 watts in output power. And we picked up 100 watts from our baseline at 12.9 volts. Come on. There we go. Okay. Let's grab the microphone off the derail radio. 1600 watts, but look at what the peak bird is here. 700 bird. Now under load, watch what this thing is doing. So on your end, when you're running this thing, my friend, we should see somewhere in the area of about 700-800 bird drive for your other thing. Now, that's all fine and fun. Let's go to stupid mode here. Here's 15.7. Grab the derail mic again. 15.72. That's 800 bird. Almost 1900 watts by going to 1500 volt or 15 volts. That's at 14.9 under load. Okay, now I can switch back over to that 2950, but there's really no point. So now if a guy was using a supercapacitor and could charge his stuff up to 16 volts, 900 bird, 1900 peak, almost 2000. And under load, otherwise the same thing as supercapacitor would give you fully charged. Now, that's cute and fun, and I had to do that as an experiment for my friend, the guy that ordered this thing from me. I wanted to show him what it would do on different voltages. So give me just a second. I want to put the lid on this thing because I know it's fairly warm at this point, and we're going to continue on out to 17, 16.5. Boy, I sure hope you guys are ready for this. These are two JMC Super Jamco fans, okay? They are 245 CFM a piece. That's at 12 volt. There's more air moving through this cabinet than any other amplifier I've ever built except for Mr. Jefferson's that I put a 500 CFM fan on and I couldn't keep the lid down on it. But these are made by JMC Jamco. These are some bad mofo fans. They pull 1.5 amps a piece. Okay, so the ones that I put on that I was experimenting with here a couple months ago on a 24 pill I was working on, those are made by JMC Jamco also, but they're about 100, or not 100. They're 200 RPMs less. They pull 600 mils a piece, so just over a half amp a piece. These pull a full 1.25 amps to 1.5 amps at 12 volts. So we're going to run these at 1700, and they are moving some air. I'm here to tell you. Now, I say this with all seriousness. Let me back away a little bit. It's not that bad. But that's what this guy's after. Now, our RPM and our CFM rate's going to change quite a bit because we're not going to run it at 17.5 volts. I'm just doing this for a demonstration. Here we go. Wrong microphone. Here we go. 1,000 bird. 2,000 peak watts. 2,000 plus. It's almost hitting the stop peg on the meter. So it can get there, but this isn't where my friend Paul's going to run it. So let me take and we're going to back the voltage down. Come on down here. At 14.2 volts, and under operation this will drop to about 13.8. Grab the wrong microphone yet again. It's not like I don't have a whole bunch to choose from up here. Grab the D-Rod mic one more time. You'll see 700 plus bird out of this Paul. At about 1,500 peak watts. And that's at 13.5. So, as you guys can tell, let me back up again. Much quieter. But there's still an insane amount of air moving through this thing. But if you can get this amp hot, I'll eat a $20 bill. Tear it up and eat it and swallow every little bit. It's ridiculous the amount of air that's moving through this cabinet. But brother, this is you. You're done. Your D-Rail Radio on 13.5, 13.2 is going to produce 750 bird and about 1400 watts. Now remember, in this same video, we've seen it do over 1,000 bird and 2,000 plus peak out of a 2x6. So when you get that new alternator and that other kind of thing that you're thinking about doing on that other thing and that other thing with that one thing and then the band, the flute and the trumpet and the thing with the dog and then that thing with the rubber hose, once you get all that squared away, I wanted to show you by going up just 1.5 volts, maybe 2 volts, the output difference between your boxes. So if you go up a couple more in volts, you're going to see the thing go take off to 11. So kill the derail radio. I love that blower. It does a good job. Just get tired of listening to it. Gentlemen, my name is BBI. And Lord have mercy. God knows the Death Star is online. What does that mean? That means I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho, and not by a little, but by a yard and a mile. I appreciate y'all checking in, tuning in, checking up, and watching what we're doing here today. If this is the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, make sure to click subscribe, make sure to hit the notification button, that way you can follow along with all this other crazy shit I do here on this little workbench for fun. Guys, I appreciate all the support. Gentlemen, I appreciate all the opportunities for projects that keep getting thrown my way every day. It is absolutely overwhelming, and I'm really quite grateful that I can still be here offering this service to all of you and being available to answer all your guys' technical questions. On that note, I gotta go. This thing is out the door tomorrow, period. Gotta go. Now, I used a 4-pin microphone jack. Pin 1 is hot, pin 2 is activate for remote. So you take the pins 1 and pin 2 and tie them together, Paul, and you're out the door running down the road. It's that simple. Guys, I gotta get. There were some stupid, silly fans, but man, did they move some air. On to the next project. See you guys. Have a good night. From your friend in Idaho. I'll see ya. Bye.